Yeah, yeah, I do hope so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if Shaq was like, if you got Shaq like 5 years earlier, you know, hey, yes, I could see probably back to back. You
He's
know,
got nothing left in the tank.
if you know the Shaq ain't really what you call a run and gun type player. Even when Miami did win the championship, his was mostly just inside under the boards. And if you could get with what Phoenix have to pass the ball around and let Shaq get posted under the boards, Nash to Shaq, it would be like Stockton to Malone. It would be that type of play, because all you got to do is just give him a little time, set up, pass it from Nash to Shaq, and yeah.
Uh, I mean, it's a good fit because they needed a big man, but I don't know. It depends on how well they gel quick enough. I thought they lost something in Sean Marion by trading him away.
Ooh.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
He ain't got nothing left in the tank.
No, I don't think so. Because of the fact that he hasn't, Sean Marion, it was more. You got Steve Nash, but Sean Marion is more like it's a Kobe Watt. 6'11", 6'7", 6'7", 6'8", more prototype. But I don't see Steve Nash doing all the second scoring, as they say. But MVP, yeah, but not to carry him. He was 3-time MVP, but he ain't get no ring from that, so.
Yeah, it didn't cover.
Let's do it. Ready with the clock?
Pose on camera like you do when they took your picture at the precinct.
5,
Side shot.
4,
Okay, front shot,
3,
please.
2, rolling.
CHEEPSEETZZ, and that's 2 Z's at the end. That's right, pitchers and catchers have reported. But before we get to that, why are they talking about Shaq doesn't have anything left? He's got 5 rings.
A lot of people are buying it. A lot of people are buying it because, listen, I mean, that's what makes news is controversy. And, a lot of people are saying Shaq is washed up. I mean, listen, Shaq is 300 pounds. If he gets in halfway decent shape, he doesn't have to control the game no more. He needs his touches, but Nash and the rest of them over there will hold up the offense. All Shaq has to do is play the middle.
All I can see them doing right about now is giving Shaq a lot of rest. He can use a lot of the rest while them guys just run up and down the court until they can get to the playoffs. Provided that Phoenix does maintain this lead that they have on the Lakers and everybody else in their division, they'll be okay. Once they hit the playoffs, they'll be hitting the ground running.
Yeah, I think and honestly, to me the season isn't. I mean, it's the playoffs. They could finish in second.
Playoffs?
It doesn't.
Playoffs? Did somebody say playoffs?
If they can finish in second, it doesn't make a difference. As long as you're in the playoffs, then that's the gist of it, because that's when you're going to make a difference. I mean, we've seen Phoenix before, win first place, and then all of a sudden in the playoffs, somebody takes them apart because they can't play a half-court game. So, I mean, I'm sure Shaq will do good. But let's talk about baseball real quickly.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, we know that the Mets had a grand colossal collapso, that's for the Puerto people, and didn't make the playoffs. We just now signed Johan Santana. Does that guarantee us the playoffs, Bear?
It guarantees them that they have a better pitching staff than they did last year. That they make the playoffs. Yeah, the Mets will make the playoffs. I mean, you don't see no problem. Their offense is just an addition. I think, if anything, their only 2 bad points is that Alou is older.
Okay.
And
he's only going to play X amount of games.
Well, and of course that Delgado has a better year than he had last year because last year wasn't
I think that injury.
Good.
I think the injury that he had slowed him down that he had last year. So, I think they're going to do pretty good with Johan.
Yeah, and as far as the Yankees not getting Santana, the bottom line with that is, listen, you didn't want to trade the kids. Nobody wanted to give up the kids. You wanted to keep Kennedy. You wanted to keep Java. You wanted to keep Hughes. So, I mean, let them throw. I think the Yankees will be fine. The Mets will make the playoffs. I think the Yankees will make the playoffs, too. I think Boston's going to be hurting a little bit because
the Schilling thing.
Schilling's going to be Schilling's
so
going to be out. And so far, they don't know how long.
That's my question.
So
That's my
some
question.
people, and now the big news, of course, is the big steroid thing with with.
I'm getting tired of that steroid thing.
Well,
I'm
now they're starting to bring in, Clement's wife into it, and when they pose for some baseball thing in Sports Illustrated,
tired of that,
that
man.
she took. Well, listen.
I'm just tired of this whole
I
steroid
think a lot of
thing.
people.
All I want
I
to
think a lot of
worry
people
about is
feel
the
like
sports.
Well, I think a lot of people feel like you is they're tired of it, and why does it have to go to Congress? I mean, if they did it, they did it. Let's cut our losses, and right now this is what we're going to test for. And if you pass these tests, you can play. If you don't pass it, yeah, then they'll bring you up on charges. But you can't do nothing, and you can't scratch the numbers that these people put up before. I mean, you don't know who did it, who didn't do it, because it's all hearsay.
Yeah, it's all hearsay. Well,
I mean,
I'm
I'm sure they got facts on some of these guys who took it, I mean, but a lot of them they don't.
They're cheaters. They're cheaters.
Anyway,
Cheaters.
our next question out there is, let's see.
The Johan Santana trade.
Oh yeah, the Johan Santana trade, and we asked people if they liked the trade or not, and this is what they gave us.
As for a pitcher, like most pitchers who come to New York, most of them, they kind of start out slow at first. But if they get the groove going, he gets his groove going like he always do the years, then it's up to the fielders to, play the field, play that defense, and the hitters who's supposed to hit, they will have to hit.
Let me ask you this. You think the Yankees should have got Johan Santana?
Yankees, as a business like any other business, they have to say, hey, is he someone they can afford? Nowadays in sports is, can you afford the player with what you can pay out compared to talent-wise?
Wow, okay.
Okay, because I mean, yes, the Yankees could probably had gotten Santana. Yes, they probably, because it's a trade, they would have to give up certain players. Now, if they would have waited, where if Santana said he didn't want to re-up with him, then they can go out on the free agent market, and the Yankees won't have to really lose nobody, but maybe pick up an extra outfielder, who can start there, and that would have been, just perfect for the Yankees.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the deal is good or not unless they can, change from what they did yesterday. Last year.
What they did last year.
Yeah.
Well, Yankees, since we got Johnson, we had Clemens, no, it's not worth it. We did that, get the old All-Star and try to see what they got any gas left, but it is not going to work for them.
So the Yankees should not.
No, we got 5 prospects that we are good. We are good. Next year, if not this year, if not winning on pennant, next year.
Yes, we're back. You're watching Cheap Seat Sports. CHEEPSEE. Well, what do you think about what the people have to say about Johan coming to town?
I think that, this is a no-brainer. I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball. He's 28 years old. He's won how many Cy Youngs? I mean, it's a no-brainer. He's never pitched in the National League, so he's going to be outstanding.
Let me ask you this question, Bear. I've heard references to the Frank Viola deal from years before. What is your opinion of that reference to Johan coming to the Mets? And I believe Frank Viola had came to the Mets, some years ago?
Yeah, well, they're different kind of pitches, but I remember Viola when he came to the Mets, and he came also from Minnesota. Both of them are legitimate. I mean, but Santana is in a class by himself.